What's up, friends? My name is Jhamar Youngblood. I am an artist, entrepreneur, designer. Well, I guess I'm just an overall creative, to be honest. One thing you should know about me is I like to civilly break as many societal rules as I possibly can. And I started this new series called Big Talk with Jhamar, where I travel around New York City to talk to other entrepreneurs, artists, and creatives who are pushing our society forward. With these interesting and engaging conversations, my hope is to inspire the next generation of leaders to be fearless as they try to make our society a better place for us all. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Introduce yourself and share your past experiences that influence you to do what you're doing today.
So I'd say it's quite a lot of things, to be honest.
Well, first, your name is Jerry.
Yes, I'm Jerry. As you might know, Jhamar.
Tell me if this is bad. Do you mind if we know your real name, like your native name?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my Chinese name is Chen Wenbo.
Okay, wait. So can you teach me how to say that?
Yeah, Chen,
Chung,
Chen,
Chun,
yes, Wen,
Wan,
Bo.
Bo,
Perfect, Chen Wenbo.
Chen Wan Bo.
Yo, that is
That's
like
good?
That's crazy good, actually.
Yeah.
You got the tones like correct. That's the thing.
When I was in grad school, I started a startup with some friends from China. And my roommates were friends from China, so
Dude, that's
I
sick.
kind of picked up on some of the dialect that
You're spot on with your pronunciation. It might be better than mine in a few years, to be honest.
Yeah, so what experiences led you to be doing everything you're doing today?
There's a lot of things in my life that have really led me to this point, I think. And I'll begin with like two things that I would say like kind of shaped me growing up. The first thing was my dad has been in the kind of like HR management for most of his life.
Okay.
And even at like the age of 8 or 10 or 12, like he'd come home with these like case studies basically from his actual job and ask me how to solve like issues between his coworkers or like make like HR decisions. He would take these situations home and like kind of, I guess, train me in the mindset more or less. And I've always found, kind of a passion for business to that because of that, right? The other thing that I feel like was really formative in my childhood was like I started my first startup when I was 15. It was just like a small boutique creative agency back in Vancouver. Somehow I managed to convince a bunch of these college students to give it a shot back when I was 15. And so that's what we did.
Okay, so those two things inspired what you are doing today. Are you from? I know you mentioned Vancouver. You're from Vancouver?
I like to say I'm from Vancouver just because like the conversation's easier. So actually, like I was born in Dalian, China, right? And then I moved to Vancouver back when I was 4. It was like kind of the typical immigration story, really. Like you could almost kind of write it into a book. My mom and I immigrated like when I was 4, and my dad like stayed in China to work. And at the start, we were literally like staying out of like this tiny like basement that got refurbished with like a bed in it. Like instead of a proper like lighting setup, like it was a light bulb like kind of like stuck to the top of the ceiling. Like miraculously over the years, like things just got way better. We had like our own apartment and stuff. But it really, like looking back, it really just kind of started from nothing.
Like the great Canadian Drake once said, started from the bottom, now you're here. So okay, you got China, we have Vancouver, and NYU. Right now we're at NYU in the library. I'm trying to control my voice. In the library I'm trying to speak low-key.
As am I. Trying to laugh very quietly, obviously.
So how did you get to NYU?
Yeah, well, I just applied and got in, right? Okay. But I kind of always knew that I wanted to come to the U.S., specifically to like a really big metropolitan area, because Vancouver's kind of metropolitan, but like it's really relaxed and there's not enough grind and hustle.
Okay.
Right? That's kind of how it always felt to me. It was always like too nice of a place. You wouldn't be motivated necessarily to work super hard.
Okay.
That's always kind of the impression I got. So I was sure that I was ready for the NYC's like kind of grunge and like,
Latte. I know it's on
Yeah.
your shirt. Wait, can the camera see it? Spread it out for the camera. Yeah. Latte.
Yeah, I'll kind of give you like the pitch. Okay. So, hi, I'm Jerry, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Latte, which is an AI-enabled platform that connects users with career mentors. Specifically, we're working on connecting pre-professionals and early professionals like myself. I'm a senior at NYU Stern with professionals who can kind of guide them on their early career journey, get them into their target firms, as well as connect them with the right resources so they can really fast track their career progress.
In the midst of all those words, I think I got lost a little bit. So how would you explain that to your 5-year-old nephew? What would you say?
My 5-year-old nephew knows what a teacher is.
Okay.
And in life, you will have a lot of teachers. When you're looking to become an adult, you have to get something called a job. And that process can be really stressful. But what makes it less stressful, it can help you get that job a lot easier, is a mentor. And moreover, once you're done getting that job and you want to move to a better job or do something better at your job, that mentor or that teacher can really, really help you do that as well.
All right, so now explain that to one of your fellow students, which is the target market, right? This is college students that are around your age looking for internships or their first jobs.
I think if you're anything like myself, you'll realize that applying for jobs and trying to find an internship is really, really stressful of a process. Like you fill out 1,000,000 applications, you get maybe like a 1% response rate, send a ton of cold emails to try to network into like aspects of the firm or even get like a good idea of what your job's gonna look like. But the hit rate of those is really low. What you're really lacking is a dedicated community to help you find that one person who can give you good advice and orient your career. And that's really important when you're at a spot in your life where, well, you haven't worked a job before, you don't know what it's like. You want to know what you're getting yourself into. And instead of using the typical programs to apply to mentorship that take weeks or even months to match, just sign up on Latte, get your profile set up in 5 minutes, and we'll match you with a mentor instantly.
That's one thing about Jerry. He is so well-spoken, but not only well-spoken, he projects his voice, and he's like even kill, but he's also trustworthy. So when you speak, it's like I think people not only understand what you're saying easily because you speak in such simple language and so straightforwardly, but I think people also trust you. I think it's something about you that like just gives off trust and vibe. That's
I
good,
really
man.
appreciate that, man.
No,
I mean,
that's cool.
I like to try to keep it real, right? Like it's I'm building a product that the younger version of myself really would have liked. So there's a lot of empathy, both like to the younger version of myself, but also like just to the students who are kind of in the grind right now.
Yeah.
Like they need something like this. So that's why it matters to me, right? Like it's about democratizing access to mentorship. There's a reason we say like mentorship for all, not just mentorship for the few people whose dad knows like someone who runs a hedge fund.
Would you say that Latte exists to help provide opportunity for the least connected yet talented members of our society?
Absolutely. I think it's like a lot of students who are really talented, really smart,
and people who have ambition, right?
and people who have ambition. I mean, because they'll self-select to find like apps and resources like this, right?
And I'm sorry to cut you off though. What is your understanding of the difference between talented and ambitious? Or like, do they matter to you in this case? Like, are you seeking either type of student, the talented students or the ambitious students?
I don't think it's fair to say that like some people are talented, some people are not. I think everyone has a talent. So I think oftentimes it's about identifying that talent, and that's I guess one thing that mentors can help with. The other thing is that ambition really matters, right? Ambition is the thing that maybe not everyone has, but also I'm really not expecting unambitious people to hop onto Latte.
Is there any drawback of saying that we are looking for ambitious students?
I don't think we have to say we're looking for ambitious students because the ambitious students come to us, right? Like,
so you're assuming that because they came to Latte that they are ambitious?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, because you wouldn't hop onto a professional platform. No one's forcing you to get onto a platform.
But maybe someone may force them. What if it's like, so maybe, all right, so let me give you a situation. What if you have a student and they had success on Latte, but they have a friend that they think is talented, and they also may think that that friend is slacking. They may kind of put some type of peer pressure on that friend to join Latte because they found opportunity. So that's like word of mouth. Isn't word of mouth like a sign of forcing or like influencing, especially when it comes from like someone that you respect?
Yeah, I mean, it's a form of peer pressure, right? But if you're just like maybe a little bit ambitious about certain aspects of your career and you think that, hey, maybe my friend is right, well, you do qualify as that ambitious student. You're just like an ambitious student who needed that little bit of a push, right?
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
feel.
think about, I'm trying to get my mindset because I finished grad school 10 years ago, well, 9 years ago. So I haven't been an undergrad in over 13 or 15
Yeah,
years. So long
you don't
ago.
look a year over over your actual grad school years. Yeah.
So no, but I'm just wondering if I'm walking around, I see latte ads or latte T-shirts, and it says, "Where the ambitious find opportunity." Oh my God, I'm sold, bro. Because I want to identify as someone that's ambitious. So if there's like an app that's saying like this is where ambitious students come to find opportunity, I feel like that's golden. But I'm not the CEO of Latte. This guy
I mean,
is.
let me think about that, right?
It's
Like, there's always like
interesting.
a way we can position ourselves. I mean, we're still pretty early stage,
No, for
so
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and actually, so let's talk about that. Now let's talk from the business side of it because you also are the CEO, and the CEO of companies are responsible for not only being the public face of the company, but helping come up with the vision. What is the vision of Latte?
I think 10 years down the line, I want to connect every undergraduate student in North America who needs mentorship with a mentor.
Okay.
Yeah. I want this to be a global thing, to be honest, right?
Okay.
And regardless of how we do it, like I want these resources to be available in a way that they're not today.
Okay. So, last question before we end this lovely interview. This is one of the hardest questions in startup land, especially when you're dealing with consumer products where you have two different end users. How does Latte solve the chicken and the egg problem?
For context, we launched at NYU Stern about a month ago. Currently, 350-ish downloads, 160 something monthly active users at the moment. Of those users, our super users are all in entrepreneurship or a startup adjacent field. And so that's kind of surprising, to be honest.
Why is that?
Well, we initially thought, well, because Stern is so finance heavy, right? Like, we thought it would just be finance students flocking to the site to talk to grads or seniors. But actually, I mean, I know a guy who booked like just 5 different mentorship like calls last week, right? And that basically means like a call like Monday to Friday, pretty much, right? A call a day.
Booked and busy, as we call it in our culture.
Yes,
Booked
sir.
and busy.
But you get use cases like those, and then you're like, hey, instead of like focusing on finance, maybe it's time to start like pushing on the entrepreneurship side, right? That's where our cult following is.
So
right
let
now.
me ask you a question. Are the startup founders or the people that's interested in entrepreneur, would you consider them more ambitious than the other type of students?
Personally, like I want to say that the answer is yes, and I think in some capacity, like I would say so, but
And I'm just asking for personal reasons because I threw the idea out there. That's why. So don't
yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah.
don't let don't
I'm,
don't
I'm
be
not trying to
jaded.
be
Okay.
diplomatic. I'm
Okay.
like I also know like a ton of really ambitious people in finance. The difference, the key difference here is actually like your level of tolerance of uncertainty. Because in finance, once you get that initial return offer, you're making quite a lot, right, off the bat.
That's true.
And there's relatively little uncertainty in your career, right? You're pretty sure for the next few years you're going to be grinding to get that check. And that's great because you worked really fucking hard to get there, right?
We're not bleeping that out, by the way.
Oh, great, yeah. But the difference here is that in entrepreneurship, it's like, yeah, you don't get a check for quite a while. I mean, certainly I'm not, so.
Not yet.
Yeah, not
It's coming
yet.
soon.
But it takes a while to get there. And it takes a lot of like really weird hours. It takes a lot of like personal investment in terms of like your time, sometimes your money, I guess. But it's like really your energy investment, right? Like you have to reckon with the fact that you're anxious all the time and things are going to be uncertain, and you have to trust yourself enough that you'll figure things out as they come along.
Lastly, if you want to give a shout out to anyone in the Latte, on the Latte team, or anyone out there, this is your time to show some love to your people or your community.
Firstly, I want to shout out to my marketing team who might be cutting up this video a little bit later as well. Specifically, I wanted to mention you guys because I know we have some like really, really cool stuff in the works, and right now is like a very marketing heavy time. Gonna be needing tons of help in terms of like just messaging and scaling our messaging to entrepreneurs, right? That's kind of the theme of what we're doing over the next few weeks. Specifically, Belle, shouting you out. Really, really great stuff so far. I mean, hell, our mascot was designed by you, right? And it's a pretty damn good mascot. Claudia, you're one of our marketing interns. Really good stuff. I know you've been like trying out the app recently as well, and you're getting some good value on there. So that's cool. Karen, you will be taking a path very similar to Claudia because, I mean, you're our recent hire, right? You're a very new intern, but you'll be trying out the app as well, and of course, helping us with creative and messaging and getting the word out there about Latte, because that's what we're trying to do. There's so many people who deserve shout outs. I'd say everybody on the team, really. Like Yvonne, Jutao, Raghav. Dude, you guys have been so on top of things. You guys, phenomenal job. And of course, like to my co-founder Sarah as well, right? Like she's the operational mind, keeps things running as I get on a bajillion like sales calls.
And podcast interviews.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like shout out to everyone, man. Like I can't really leave a single person behind. Let's be real.
Amazing, man. This was fun. This was great. Shout out to Jerry. Shout out to Latte. And see you soon. Big Talk with Jhamar. We out of here. Peace.